Good morning and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be discussing how to get rent assistance and the Emergency Rental Assistance Program for 2021. As most of you know or have seen on Google or also YouTube, there's a lot of people talking about getting your rent as a landlord or a tenant and getting that back paid up to 15 months, okay? Now, the first disclosure I want to make is on Google, a lot of blogs and websites are just copying each other. In order for them to rank higher, they put in all kinds of inaccuracies in the information, and almost none of them have actually read the actual House bill for that, okay? It's very evident. And then, it really does digress when it gets to YouTube. A lot of these creators like to put the eye popping to get free rent for 12 months or free rent for 15 months. And, the thing about it is they're all copying each other. And again, none of them have actually read the bill or even understand at the most elemental level how it works. And so it's at the very least amusing, okay? So what I'm going to provide you with this morning is in context what the actual bill says, how you as a landlord can recover up to 15 months of your rent going all the way back. And for you as renters, the same deal. You can also recover most of your utilities, okay? Your electrical, possibly oil or gas, going back 12 to 15 months. Now, on a convoluted level, I've got to tell you, there's not one specific site where you just go and apply. There is a lot of different things going on with this, and so a lot of nonprofits and state and city organizations have their hands all in this. There's a $25 billion allocation spread fairly evenly across all the U.S. cities. And so, now that we also have a new president, he's actually going to add another $30 billion, which means you can possibly recover 15 months of your rent, and then once I know more about the $30 billion that will be added under the new relief bill for Mr. Biden, President Biden, then it looks like people may have their rent and or utilities covered additionally up for another year, okay? So it's important that you pay attention to this. Most of the information, including my website that I'm talking about and the bill and all the information you're going to need is going to be on my website. All that will be posted in the first comment pinned to the top of the video, okay? So moving on from that. So the actual bill is HR.8337, the Continuing Appropriations Act of 2021 and Other Extensions Act. This is from Congress.gov, okay? So it's a lot better to read through a bill than talk to a bobbing head on YouTube that doesn't know anything, okay? Tips and tricks will never get you anywhere when it comes to a lot of these rodeo clowns making videos. And the second thing I'm going to tell you is, if you scroll down here, it's a good read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to summarize the information. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is, look, if this becomes something that's just too stressful or you can't deal with it or you don't want to have to go through the hassle of doing this, you can set up a consultation with me. I'll bill $40 for a half hour, okay? And I think what you'll find is, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of calls that have to be made and trying to figure out exactly who to go to. So if you are a tenant or a landlord, you're welcome to hire me as a consultant, and that information is in the comment section. The second warning I would like to issue to everyone is simply this. If you get involved in the wrong program, the wrong federal program, you sign up, they pay maybe a month or two of your rent, and you end up in the wrong program, then you will cancel your ability to get all 12 to 15 months of this, okay? So it's extremely important that you don't get on a scam website, that you don't go through the wrong organizations, and that you get the maximum potential from this, okay? So if you really don't know what you're doing, or you feel like this is going to be a big hassle for you, I strongly advise you not to put $15,000, $20,000, or $30,000 worth of back rent at risk because you don't want to pay out, $40 for a consult. Now, the other thing I'd tell you is, with this, it could take a half hour. It could take me an hour or two, okay? So I don't know for each city, but I can guarantee you one thing. I will put you in contact with the correct people. Now, with that being said, we'll move on. So as you can see, the bill's rather long, and I'm going to go ahead and just take you to my website where I've done a summary of information, and you'll see it here. Website address can be located down below. So eligible uses will be for rent. Rent arrears means you owe rent. Utilities and home energy costs, arrears, okay? So in other words, you're looking at getting all your rent paid, going all the way back. And also, let me tell you something. If you're a landlord, I can help you. Now is the time to stop the eviction. The money's there, and even more money's coming. So if you're a landlord and you're just trying to recover rent, then maybe the best possibility at this point would to be reopen a dialogue and try to be friendly again, okay? Because not only will they be able to pay their back rent, but the new bill that will be coming out through Joe Biden will allow you as a landlord to be able to have a comfortable cushion, because they're going to continue to pay this rent with the new bill, okay? So I think at this point, everybody should just call up the evictions and go and recover your money. And if you're a tenant, then you absolutely need to start taking these steps, okay? This will help you repair the damage. I can't think of a better way for everybody to now stop, pause, and just take a breath, because there is money out there, okay? And you really should thank your new president, whether you like him or not, because if the man is going to give, on top of $25 billion, another 30 to help you pay your rent all the way through 2021 almost, then you should thank him, okay? Because it's a lot more than you've been getting for 4 years. Now, with that being said, so yes, we can talk about covering rent and utilities from the past and also going into the future if you have problems. There are specific criteria they are looking for. So we're going to go down to there. Eligibility, household, and priorities. And again, you can see all this on the website, my website. If you qualify for unemployment benefits, or you've experienced a reduction in household income, or incurred significant costs or other financial hardships that are due directly or indirectly to the pandemic, as an applicant, you must attest or write that and put it in writing for the organization doing the application. One or more individuals demonstrate a risk of experiencing homelessness or housing instability, which may include past due utility and rent and eviction notice, unsafe, unhealthy living conditions, or any other evidence of such risk, okay? This is the exact wording written in the bill, okay? This is not something that's convoluted in a tips and trick video or some other convoluted blog that's done about 30 seconds research. This is how it's dictated specifically in the bill, okay? Anyways, moving on. Household income may not exceed 80% of the area median income, okay? Look, for you guys that don't really understand that, let's just say that the median area income, okay, 5 zip codes around you, everybody's making 100,000, take 20% off of that. So if you make more than 80,000, then you probably won't qualify, okay? If you want to rank higher on the list, then make sure you don't actually make more than 50% of the area income. If you're making no income, then you're doing fantastic, okay? So when when you get down to this, there's a confirmation from the agency, and they can also, these particular agencies can set up rules, okay? And so that's, again, when you probably want to have an advocate, because you don't want to get involved with one of these real shady organizations that are distributing federal funds, okay? And they can put all kinds of implied rules. So it's really better to be directed to a straightforward agency like a city or state agency in order to get this, or through HUD. Now, I want to tell you, this also covers people that have HUD mortgages. It also covers people that have rent that are already on Section 8 vouchers. So you pay 30%. So if you've been struggling to pay that or haven't been able to pay it, this covers that, okay? This is something you definitely want to make sure you sit down and have a peaceful conversation with your landlord. And now you can actually come to a real resolution. Why would they turn down all the money that's owed to them, and then a guarantee of money to pay rent regardless of your ability to work going forward to 2021? Do you see my point, okay? So I don't want to go too far into this, because obviously, everybody's, you're all an adult. You know how to read, and it's all on the website. So I just wanted to go over that, some of the basic information. So I just want to reiterate to you guys, look, do not go out there and mess this up, okay? You only get one shot. If you get in, like I said, if you get in the wrong program, or you deal with the wrong shady organization and you do this wrong, you're not going to get any back rent. You'll be excluded from it. And let me be also very clear. I'm a very technical person when it comes to terms and how bills are written, and I've read every piece of legislation on housing when it comes to Section 8. Most people know that. So I just want to tell you that there are specific criteria. If you don't meet those, then we could potentially figure out a way that you could, okay? So, I know there's a lot of DIY, do-it-yourself people. Let me tell you something. They're going to ask a specific set of questions, and you need to meet those criteria. Once you open your mouth and you're a matter of record for that, there's no going back. So I'm going to tell you for a third time, don't get it wrong or hire a consultant, okay? Because like I said, you only get one shot. The other thing I'm going to do is I want to bring you down here to the bottom. And so, you have a CDC Declaration Form. It is right here. I'm going to give it a click, and we'll take a look. 2 pages. If you want to halt an eviction, you can do this all the way to the point of when you walk into a courtroom in front of a judge, especially in front of a judge, make sure that you have this signed. My other advice to you is go ahead and fill out all that information, attest to it, make sure that you're meeting the qualifications for this form, and do not just go and hand it. Make sure you have somebody videotaping that you have this in your hand and that you're putting it in the landlord's hand. Do not tape it to a door. The other way to do it is require a signature or use a tracking number, and at all times make sure you have a witness. That way you can prove that this was delivered and there can be no deniability. If none of those things can be met, then, the thing about it is you'll have to do that in court. And all you need to do is before he hits the gavel, make sure that you hand it over in front of all the witnesses in the courtroom that it should work. If you're a landlord, I would strongly advise you not to check the mail if you're really insistent on evicting somebody. If you go out there and you're hanging around the property and the tenants can walk up and put it in your hands, it's a done deal, especially if they have you on video. If you check your mailbox, they got a tracking number and you decide to sign or accept something with a tracking number, that's a done deal. So, if you're really insistent. So I'm not really, for you to do that as a landlord, because really right now you have every reasonable means to recover all of your rent and also get your tenant's rent basically covered for the better part of 2021. So I don't see that we really need to play these games. So with all that being said, I'll let everybody to be able to read these things on itself, including the bill, the actual information summary on my website. And if you don't want to take chances with the future of your housing or being able to get it. Oh, and there's one other thing I'd like to mention. If you have a landlord that is not going to cooperate with you, then the payments can be issued to you. So if they owe you $20,000 in rent, they'll pay it to you, and then you got to figure out how to pay your landlord. Let me tell you something, folks. Do not attempt to defraud the government, okay? So if these guys cut you a check for $28,000 to pay back rent and you go and buy some limousine, I can tell you right now, you see what happened when people did that with unemployment benefits. Within 90 days, you'll find yourself in front of a federal court judge, and what's going to end up happening is you will get free housing through the federal pen, okay? Do not attempt to play that game. It may seem like the greatest little windfall that you'll ever get, but if you attempt to do that and you get caught, let me tell you, there's no walking out of that. And federal time requires you to serve 85% of your sentence, so there won't be any negotiation. So that is my final warning to folks. So with all that being said, I've enjoyed talking with y'all this morning, and I wish you all the best with this. And if you need help, I'm here, okay? Thank you. Bye.